Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to learn how to play Cathood. Let's learn how to play Cathood. This tutorial exists thanks to Nick and Yancer. Cathood. Cathood means the state or essence of being a cat, and that's what you're trying to achieve. In Cathood, you are one of the 4 lovely cats, each with its own personality, that move around a neighborhood to meet humans, collect toys, and visit parks to establish their territory. By doing so, you earn affection points to use the human equivalent measuring system while working toward becoming the most beloved cat in the neighborhood. When a player has placed all of their houses and statuses, whoever has the most affection points wins. Let's start by taking a look at the neighborhood, which comprises of a 3x3, 3x4, 4x4 set of tiles depending on the number of players, with streets between them for cats to walk. I suppose humans probably walk there too, but they are obviously designed for cats. That's why there are paw prints on them. Each tile has some sort of feature on each side. The round, colorful ones represent shops, where we can beg for resources. At the beginning of the game, the last player must place their cat next to a pink, yellow, or blue shop, butcher, baker, or fishery. They will then take a resource of that type. Looks like we have the first player card, so our opponent will place the first cat now. Okay, our opponent placed their cat next to a fishery, blue. I guess this is, where's the cat? Oh, here it is. That spot happens to be next to a butcher too, pink. But they specified the fishery and took the blue resource. Next, all other players must place their cats next to other shops of the same color in reverse order. The same color in reverse order. Looks like we only have 2 options. Click on this paw print to place our cat. Good. Next, take a look at our player board. We acquired 1 blue resource. As you can see, we have enough slots for 12 resources at a time. I'm not sure how we managed to carry 12 items at once with no pockets, but hey, cats are clever creatures. Now that everyone's cats have been placed, we can start playing. Each turn consists of 2 phases: do cat things and sleep. Phase 1, do cat things, because what else would a cat do? In this phase, we must place each of our action discs on a different action on our player board. Each player starts the game with only 1 disc. Let's use this action, which lets us move our cat 1 to 3 spaces diagonally. Okay, click on it. Okay, now we have to choose the first spot we want to move to. Afterward, we can stop there or continue in the same direction for 1 or 2 more spaces. For instance, if we move here, we can then stop our movement or continue on to one of these spaces, because diagonal. We will automatically acquire 1 resource from each shop, round colorful feature, we pass or stop in. Let's move in the other direction instead, so click here. We arrived at a pink shop and acquired a pink resource. We only moved 1 step so far, but it appears that we've hit the edge of the neighborhood. That's not a problem. When we hit the edge while moving diagonally, we can rebound off of it and keep moving perpendicularly. So click here to keep moving. So we'll go this way. We acquired a purple resource from the purple shop. Under here, there's purple little. Let's move 1 more step. We want to acquire as many resources as we can. So click here. Well, we got to minimize. So click here. We're going diagonal. Okay, that's as far as we can go. And since we only had 1 action disc to use, that was the end of our do cat things phase. Phase 2, sleep. This is automatic. All the action discs we used were moved back to where they were. If we had acquired any cards during phase 1, the supply would be restocked at this point. Next, our opponent will take their turn. Okay, it's our turn again, and our cat is next to a square feature, allowing us to place an action disc on the matching action on our player board. I guess it's this one, I think. Let me see. One of these things, I'm not sure. Okay. In this case, the square feature has a building icon. So I guess it's this one on it. So we can take the building action, which lets us pay resources to acquire a building card. So click here. There are 3 building cards in the supply, each with a resource cost at the top and an affection point at the bottom. The only one we can afford right now is the one on the left, so let's click on it. Okay, great. The card was tucked under the bottom of our board, with the affection point value still visible. We scored 4 points. I wonder how many butt pats that equals. I say 4. Next, let's talk about houses and statues. Each player started the game with several 665 houses or 322 statues on their board, depending on the number of players. Whenever we take a building or pet shop action, we must place our leftmost house onto the neighborhood feature that allowed us to take the action. Whenever we take a building or pet shop action, we must place our leftmost house onto the neighborhood. Oh, we'll figure what that means. As you can see, the building feature on the neighborhood block, has been completely covered up by our house. That means no one else can place a house here, so it's covered. If you like, you could think of this as claiming territory. We rubbed our cheeks all over it. That's not all. If you recall, there used to be an action disc on our board with a padlock on it. I don't recall. It was tied to the first house on our board. When we placed that house, we unlocked the disc, giving us access to a second action for the rest of the game. Okay, I guess this thing here. This also revealed a new action space, but we won't use it until a little later. When a disc is unlocked, we can use it immediately. Let's use it to move diagonally again. So click here when a disc is unlocked, okay? Let's go this way. Psst, 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 psst. Keep going. Psst, 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 psst. Psst, 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 psst. Okay, great. We acquired 3 more resources with that movement. Before we move ahead, note that we revealed a new building card during our sleep phase. Yep, there's new buildings. Okay, next turn. Let's learn about the swap and rotate actions. Swap lets us switch the positions of 2 adjacent neighborhood blocks. Rotate lets us rotate a single tile by 90 degrees. Let's try a swap action. So click here. Click. Select, okay, we are going to, okay. Select these 2 neighborhood blocks in the indicated order, 1 and 2, and swap. Great. Next, we'll move diagonally to get more resources. Since you already know how this works, I'll just fast forward through it. Okay, diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. Okay. We got another. Uh-oh. Our opponent decided to move and stop on the same place we're on. Cats are fiercely territorial, and they're invading our territory. When 2 cats fight, the players must play rock, paper, scissors. If one player wins, they could steal a resource from the loser. If it's a tie, the cats calm down and get along for now. Click on rock. Okay, rock. What? I chose rock and Hogman says scissors. Okay. It was a tire. I mean, we generously allowed the other cat to stay. We have more important things to do than fight anyway, like visiting a park. Parks are represented by tree icons. Each park is connected to a resource icon indicating 2 things. Which resources are required to enter 2 of whatever is shown. The park's entrance, which can be accessed from the adjacent side of the block. Okay. For example, the park on this block counts as 2 green resources and can be accessed from either of these spaces. Green resources. Okay. I guess it's because it's this shade. That's my guess. Also, the resource icon is a square, just like buildings. Again, that means we need to use a specific action on our board to interact with it, the park action. So click here. A couple things just happened. First, we paid 2 green resources and moved one of our statues from our board onto the park, the little cone. Just like that, just like when we placed a house on a building, the park belongs to us now. No one else can place a statue there. Second, we took the top card of the park deck and slid it under our board. As you can see, the card is worth 7 affection points. The next card in the park deck is only worth 6 points. The value will keep decreasing as the parks are claimed. Okay, I guess right here, this is the park card. Let's move on. We still have lots of resources, and we're next to a pet shop, another square feature. So let's use the pet shop action. When we use a pet shop action, we must pay resources to buy one of 3 toy cards in the supply. Each one has a resource cost at the top and 1 or 2 toy icons on the bottom. Okay, resource cost at the top and 1 or 2 toy icons on the bottom. Okay. The resource costs for toys aren't as straightforward as building or park costs, though. If you can't interpret the iconography, you can hover over the card with your mouse to see what it costs. Looks like this one costs 2 resources of the same type. Okay. It's a little thing. Okay. Let's buy it. Click on this card. Which resources should we use to buy it? Let's go with pinks. Click on the pink resource icon. It was tucked under a board so that only toys are still shown. At the end of the game, we'll score points for each toy category, depending on how many of that toy we have. Here's an example. This player ended the game with yarn, yarn, feather, yarn, and no mice. That's 8 points for total toys. Let's see. 2, 3. 1 feather is 1 point. 3 yarn, 8 points. 0 mice. Okay, that's why. 8, 9 minus 1, 8. Okay. Let's go through what we've learned so far about the neighborhood features. Round on one side, shops grant resources automatically as we pass by. Square are buildings, pet shops, and parks. Enable us to take an action on our player board if we are adjacent to one. There are 2 other kinds of features. The first is nothing. When you go to a tile with no feature, nothing happens. Maybe we can take a nap. The second is diamonds, which automatically trigger special effects when we stop on them. There are 3 kinds of diamond features. Cafes let us swap up to 2 resources in our inventory for other kinds of resources. Dogs bark at us and force us to move to an orthogonally or diagonally adjacent space. Bees let us reserve a toy or building card. There's a cafe to the southeast. Let's drop by so you can see it in action right here. Okay. We used a diagonal move action and stopped at the cafe. As you can see, its effect was automatically triggered. We can swap up to 2 of our resources for other kinds. Take a look at our inventory and the area of the neighborhood we're currently in. What resources do you think we need? There's a park nearby that requires 2 orange resources, so there's a line in orange. So let's get some. Click on these buttons to swap the resources, the blue resources, an orange one. 1 meow time, please. Click here and here. Great. Unfortunately, I won't have a chance to show you how dogs or bees work, but if you forget what they do, just hover over them with your mouse. The exclamation point marks near them indicate that the effects are mandatory. Okay. You see the X, there's a little eye. Now that we have 2 orange resources, let's visit that park. This time we need an orthogonal movement, so click here. When we move orthogonally, we can move 1 or 2 spaces in a single direction. In addition, if we go off the edge of the neighborhood, we'll use a secret passage to appear on the other side. So click here to move to secret passage. Good, we moved to the right, took the secret passage, and reappeared on the left side. We moved to the right. Okay, I missed that. And okay, of the neighborhood. This used 1 movement. We can move 1 more space in the same direction. Psst, psst, psst. Okay. Okay, I think you've seen enough of the gameplay. Let's quickly recap all the different actions. Pet shop, building, park. Pay resources to take a card and place a figure on an adjacent square feature. Swap or rotate. Neighborhood blocks through some sort of weird cat magic. Move diagonally, 1 to 3 spaces, or orthogonally, 1 to 2 spaces. There's also a repeat action that lets us perform the same action twice in a single turn. However, it's hidden under our final locked action disc. To unlock the disc in action, we need to place our 4th house. The game will continue as long as you've seen until one player has placed all 6 of their houses and all 3 of their statues. Then once all the players have had the same number of turns, the game will end and we'll count up the points. Each player's final score includes points from building cards, park cards, toy cards, and extra resources. 247 for having at least 4 A12 resources. Whoever has the most points wins. Once you have some experience with the base game, you might consider toggling the expansion in the lobby. Options, friends and or family and friends. Family and Friends introduces 5 new kinds of cards: events, knowledge, personality, goals, and kittens. But the core gameplay remains the same. If you try this, you'll be able to learn about all the new elements by hovering over them with your mouse. Thank you for playing through this tutorial for Cathood. If you have any questions or comments about the tutorial, feel free to send Nick and Yancer a message. Big thank yous go to Fabio, Jorge, Zacatris, and Dr. Neo Quartrux. Have fun. I'll give it 5 stars. Okay, thanks for watching.